Afternoon, everyone. I'm Annalyn Ordonez from the Polytechnic University of the Philippines. So I'll be discussing my paper entitled Evaluation, Home Analytics and Decision Support System with Visualization Tool for Real Estate Venture Capitalist, Property Seller, and Appraiser. Okay, so for the outline, I'll be discussing the introduction, the developed evaluation system, the result and discussion, the conclusion, and the future works. So for introduction, shelter is one of the basic necessity in life, and having a shelter to live is indeed important. Buying and owning a home is a process that limits financial risk, increase investment power, and save money over the long term. It is true that owning a house can be daunting because of the responsibility and obligation that comes with it. Many Filipinos are desiring to acquire their own home. However, most of them has too many considerations like financial stability, the location of the property, and the environment, and so on. So what is the real value of your home? Property valuation is a practice of developing an established opinion of the value of the property in the market, and getting an accurate home appraisal is a vital aspect of having a successful home sale. So in every property investment, the market value is always the basis of the worth of each property. So this study focused on the decision support system that will assist in handling strategic problems such as acquisition, expansion, renovation, and conversion of assets. So the result of the appraisal can be used by the property seller in decision making on the selling price of the property. Likewise, the venture capitalist in decision-making on the process of acquiring the property. So what is the objective of this study? So the objective of this study are as follows. To identify the most widely used appraisal method to establish unbiased actual market value of a property, and to develop a visualization tool that will support the decision-making activities of the respondents with the integration of the geographic information or the GIS. So for the respondents of this study were composed of two sets. First is the appraisers from a government institution who assess the residential property based on classification. Secondly is the randomly selected individual, or what we so-called the venture capitalist, who wishes to acquire property within their preference. So what is a decision support system? So according to Raul Valverde, it is an interactive computer-based system designed to help decision makers to solve poorly structured problems. So DSS is widely used in different fields. It may be on health, tourism, food, telecommunications, and many more. So it increases the decision makers' satisfaction and improves communication and collaboration among decision makers. So I use three DSS or Decision Support System component for this study. First is the user interface management. So it consists of the actual graphical user interface of the system that allows the user to interact with the DSS interface. Next is the analytical model. For the analytical model, the use model here in the system is the market data approach that is also known as the direct comparison approach. It is an appraisal technique in which the market value estimate is predicted upon prices paid in actual market transaction. It is a process of correlation and analysis of similar recently sold properties. The formula used in predicting the market value of the property is market value estimate on sales comparison plus adjustment to sale price of the comparable property. So lastly, the data management. So it contains the validation and integration of the property data from the basic information, the comparable property details, and the current market value. So for the system architecture, so my system is a web-based application that is developed using a PHP, jQuery, HTML and CSS for the front end, and MySQL for the database. So for the decision support system component, I already discussed this a while ago, which is I use three, which are the user interface management, model management or the analytical model, data management. So the output of this decision support system will help the users in better decision making in terms of investment and in terms of market factor analysis, investment control, and financial analysis. So let's talk about market factor analysis. So all assets should undergo market factor analysis to analyze the current market situation of the property. So these market factor considerations includes the following. So the demographic trends, location, transportation, infrastructure, and valuation. While on the other hand, on the investment control, it is encouraged since decision is in acquiring an investment can make an enormous difference to long-term wealth plan. And lastly, for the financial analysis, it increases its importance since the result of the system determines the financial capacity of an individual. So for the process flow, I have a three user here, the appraiser, property seller, and the venture capitalist. So the process will start with the property seller who will provide the property details, the appraiser who will check and inspect the list of properties available in the dashboard. The appraiser will then prepare the appraisal report and provide it to the property seller. And based on the appraisal report, the property seller will then decide and come up with the selling price and make it available online. The venture capitalist will access the application or the system and search a property based on their preferences. So if they wishes to discuss further on the details of the property, the venture capitalist will contact the seller. So what are the features and functionality of the evaluation system? So this is the actual interface of the evaluation system. So first is the registration module for the appraiser and property seller, followed by the dashboard of the list of properties to be appraised by the assigned appraiser. Next is the appraisal module for the comparison and reporting of the appraised property, and property seller module for the posting of property details. We also have the property status module for the change of status of each property. It may be available for appraisal, requested for appraisal, appraisal completed, published, and sold. And the property finder module, which is integrated with the GIS, and the generation of the property's final valuation report. So this study, there were two sets of survey questionnaire distributed to the respondents, and the data gathered from the respondents was used to develop the evaluation system. So the developed system was evaluated by the respondents based on the following. First is the functionality, followed by the reliability, and lastly, the usability. And the respondents' evaluation result is highly acceptable. So for the conclusion, the direct market comparison approach is the most widely used technique by the appraiser in determining the market value of a property. The reliability of this method is therefore dependent on the degree of comparability of each property. Due to advances in technology, web-based decision support systems have come a long way and now can offer business of all natures many advantages. So the developed evaluation system is functional, reliable, and usable. The system is proven to be helpful and effective in terms of decision making. It is also concluded that those challenges encountered by the venture capitalist may be lessened since the system can provide a real-time and reliable information. With the evaluation system, it will reduce frustrations of the decision makers in terms of acquisition, expansion, renovation, and conversion of assets. So for the future works, it is recommended to include the computation of depreciation and reproduction costs as part of the enhancement to the developed system to fully cover the process of property appraisal. Followed by, it is also recommended to integrate the initial checking of the property's legal document that includes the provision for uploading of legal documents such as transfer certificate of title or the TCT, the location plan, the declaration, the tax declaration, the real estate tax receipt, and the like. So it is also recommended to incorporate the commercial property to enlighten those who own, manage, sell, and lend money or invest in commercial real estate. And lastly, explore a mobile version of the evaluation system since mobile phone has been an integral part of so many individuals. That's it for my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.